Those are
Oh,
limited.
well, yes, sir. I'll try.
Life of Mars. Life of Mars. It's so high when changes,
Waiting for you. How my time was running wild. A million sweet sound. Every time I thought I got it ready, it seemed the taste was not so sweet. So I turned myself to face me. I've never caught a glimpse of how the others must see the freaker. How much too fast to take that test changes.
The face is strange.
Changes. Don't wanna be a richer man. Changes.
The face is strange.
Changes. Well, I'm gonna have to be. Time may change me. I can't freeze time. I said the time may change me. I can't freeze time.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hair's alright. Hey, babe, let's go out tonight. You like me and I like it all. We like dancing and we look divine. You love dance when they're playing hard. You want more and you want it fast. They put you down, they say that I'm wrong. You love your face, you put down. Rebel, you tore your dress. Rebel, your face is a mess. Rebel, how could they know? Hot tramp, I love you so.
Is it 91? Is it 91? What am I doing here? I'm all by myself. Well, we're giving Bruce a little break, and we're going to try something different. Chris and I are here in the Devin Liu 2 studio, where I do all the overdubbing and guitar tracks and other things. And I thought it would be fun to try something a little different today. What we're going to do is drag out my guitar collection, or at least some of it. I'm not really a collector per se, but I've played for such a long time and sort of accumulated instruments as I've gone. I don't really go out and buy, sell, trade. You know, there's a lot of guys that really like to get into that, and they have hundreds of instruments that they've sold or that they possess. For me, I tend to stick to, you know, ones that I can make a voice out of. So I'm going to showcase a few of the more oddball guitars that I've used over the years, and as well as starting off with this 1989 blue Stratocaster. This is a guitar most of you are familiar with. When I was in high school in 1972, my senior year, some guy called me up and he says, I know this guy in a gospel quartet that's selling a Stratocaster for $30. And I go, what year is it? And he said, well, it's 1962. This was in 1972. I said, $30? So I went and hit up my dad for $30. I said, Dad, you got to let me do this. I said, this thing's worth hundreds of dollars, and this guy's just giving it away, doesn't know the value. Well, then sure enough, this friend that called me calls me back and says, yeah, well, he kind of figured out it was worth more. He kind of figured it out. And I go, you know, my heart sunk. And I said, all right, what does he want for it now? And he goes, $45. So I said, you drive a hard bargain, but I said, I think I can handle $15 more. So I went back to my dad and I said, now he wants 45. My dad said, you're working me, you're chiseling me. And I'm going, Dad, you don't understand. This is a Stratocaster. This is like everyone's playing one right now. Eric Clapton, Jimi Hendrix. It is the bomb. I got to get it. So I got it, and I played that all the way through the early years of 77s, from when we started in 79. All through the 80s, and then it kind of went into semi-retirement. I would put it under the bed and then use it sometimes. But I didn't want to take it on the road anymore because the value was gaining, and I needed a guitar that would sound like a Fender and a Gibson when I needed it to, because I didn't want to carry too many instruments on the road. And this particular model has these vintage lace sensor pickups, and I had it modified in a couple of different ways. One is now usually you can get this pickup, these two, the middle, these two, or this. I had it modified so that I can now get the neck and the bridge, which gives you kind of a Buddy Holly sort of thing. It's like a thing, you know. Oh wait, I got to get a little cleaner than that, don't I? Anyway,
Marshall Crenshaw all of a sudden?
yeah. Yeah. So anyway, I did that, and then I put in. At the time, we had an endorsement with Fender, and Eric Clapton had a Blackie reissue with all of the original guts from the 50s, and then he had this modification that gives you a 30 dB boost, which means that you can make it way louder to play some real blues. So if I'm going like that, I can go like that and make it louder, and it's really cool. So anyway, it's been customized in a lot of ways. I've got a floating neck, ball bearings, which is probably out of date now, but I use this guitar almost exclusively for electric on the road, and in the studio I use it a lot. As far as the 62 Strat, I kept it until several years ago when Phil Madeira saw me admiring a 1952 Gibson acoustic that he had, and he was looking to have a vintage Stratocaster. So he says, "Hey, Mike, what would you think about maybe trading straight across?" And I go, "No, there's no way." I said, "I've got my blood all over this guitar." I said, "I'm gonna will it to to my kid, even though she's a girl." I said, I can't sell it." And he kind of waited until I was a little hard up, on my luck, and he calls back and says, "What if I sweeten the pot and throw in $4,000 cash, along with the Gibson?" And I go, "I don't know." So I ended up doing it, and since then it's changed hands, and now it's in the hands of sixpence none the richer. Matt Slocum has that guitar now, and I found out from him that if I ever want it back, he'll sell it back to me for $15,000. So my initial investment of $45 was a good one. Anyway, we should probably move forward to some of the more obscure instruments, because I could go on all day about this one, and I really don't want to do that when there's so many other guitars that are more interesting. All right, so what we have here is a Japanese instrument dating probably from the mid to late 60s called a Granada. And it's a knockoff of a Gibson Dove or Hummingbird or something like that. It's really a piece of crap. But when I was in high school, at that time, a friend of mine named Tim Beharon, who's now a famous sort of tech analyst and legendary in the tech world, he was in our church youth group, and this was a guy that I knew was going to go far in the world because he knew a little bit about everything and could wax eloquent on just about anything. And for some reason, he saw fit to go into his guitar collection. He had a whole bunch of guitars because he used to always lead the worship in the youth group. He was really good at it. And he gave me this guitar, and I was so grateful because it was the only acoustic I had for years and years and years. And I kept it. It was, even though it was made in Japan, which back then meant junk, now that's not the case. If it's made in Japan, it's usually really great, often or better than American instruments. But I wrote so many 77 songs on this guitar that you might be familiar with. I'm sure I wrote The Lust on it. Probably every song that we had in the 80s that I wrote, Bottom Line, you name it, all of them were written on this instrument. So even though it's an inferior sort of just junk guitar, it was something that you could throw in the car, take to the beach, take it anywhere, and that lent itself to an awful lot of just playing and writing and cool stuff. Since those days, I've kind of turned it into a Nashville tuning guitar that I've used on a number of albums. You can see that I have the lovely, I've duct taped, the whole thing has fallen apart so much that I've just kind of duct taped the back because otherwise all those pieces would fall off. And there's dust collecting here. You know, I could kind of write my name in it. Oh, the back, yeah, it's really messed up. Anyway, I should be treating this guitar with more respect because of the historical value of it, but Nashville tuning basically is taking a 12-string set, which is 12 strings. You take all the bass strings out of the set, and what you're left with is the high trebles, except for the bottom 2 strings, which are standard. So you can do things like this. This was used on the Rolling Stones' Childhood Living. It's easy to do. The things you wanted, I bought them for you. Let's just go right to the chorus. Wild horses couldn't drag me away. Wild horses, we'll ride them someday. It's just such a lovely sound. It's almost like a like an auto harp. Some of you might remember auto harps in music class. If you were kids, the teacher would bring those in and strum them. They'd press the button and
June Carter.
Pardon?
And June Carter.
Oh, June Carter used to play that in the Carter family, right. So I think the first time I ever used this was on the first 77's album, on Denomination Blues, you know. Oh, some people be preaching, you know, they do very well. They take all your money and you can go to hell, and that's all. Tell you that's all. You can have Jesus now. That's all. You can go to your college and you can go to your school. If you ain't got Jesus, you're just an educated fool, and that's all. Tell you that's all. You better have Jesus now. Ooh, that's all. I think Lindsey Buckingham used Nashville tuning a lot on a lot of Fleetwood Mac records, and a lot of people use it. It's sort of one of those studio tricks that you bring out when a track needs a lift, something light and sort of glistening, but you can't get it out of playing a normal tuning. You can try capoing way up, but that isn't always exactly the same. So this gives you a lot of voicings that you don't normally get. Sentimental little wind flowing through my life again. Sentimental sweet little one. So thank you, Tim Beharin, for giving me this instrument. Got a lot of great songs out of it, and I continue to use it to this day. 2, 3,
What holds on to your heart keeps us so far apart? What holds on to your heart? What is so good and true keeps me so far away from you?
So this is the Gibson CF100. It's a 1952 model. It was the first cutaway Gibson acoustic, meaning that they just cut this big piece out and made that sort of thing. It's very cool. This is the guitar I got from Phil Madeira in exchange for my vintage 62 Strat. And I've been grateful for it ever since. I've used it on many, many recordings. You can hear it very clearly on the Kerosene Halo album, particularly Bendy Line, where I played a lead on that. I think I used this guitar for at least 50% or more of that album, and it has a very rich, beautiful sound. I use it for slide a lot. It's good for things like this, old-time blues stuff. Everybody, everybody, everybody ought to pray sometime. Ought to fall down on their knees, crying, Lord, have mercy on me. Every gambler, every gambler, every gambler ought to play sometime. Ought to fall down on his knee, crying, Lord, have mercy on me. You backslider, you backslider, you backslider ought to pray sometime. Ought to fall down on your knee, crying, Lord, have mercy on me. Everybody, everybody, everybody ought to pray sometime. Ought to fall down on your knee, crying, Lord, have mercy on me. Anyway, it's really a cool guitar. I'm grateful for it. It's probably the nicest acoustic I'm going to own, even though it's kind of old and a little bit worn. Phil didn't want to let it go because that's his birth year, 1952, but he was willing to do it for me. So I've been grateful ever since. And I could see a time we will dare to laugh at all these ghosts that haunt us. Hey, a day we say we did it for love. Do 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 it for love. ha ha. Yeah. This is the famous Gibson 335. This is a classic, beautiful instrument. Chuck Berry played one of these. One of my favorite guys that played it that had a huge inspiration on my sound was Justin Hayward from the Moody Blues. And I just got a lot out of his playing and out of his sound. So always wanted one of these, and I eventually got one. There was a girl I used to back up, this girl singer named Darla Greiser, a dear friend of mine. And she played acoustic mostly, but she went and bought this guitar. And I said, why do you have this? What are you going to do with it? And she goes, oh, I just wanted to have it, to play it. And she played it a few times and then stuck it under her bed and didn't play it anymore. And I would often ask her about it, and she'd say, oh, yeah, I still have it. I'm not really playing it, She's from Texas. So I did a terrible thing. I waited until she was down on her luck. And then I called her up one day and I said, you still got that Gibson, that pretty Gibson? She says, yeah, I ain't playing it. And I go, I'll give you $300 cash for it right now. And she took it. Now, it was worth way more than that, but I did the deal and ended up using it on so many 77's recordings, like I don't even remember it. Did that. I played, let's see. Well, I won't be where it's at. Don't really care what I just said. I won't be right where it's at. I got rocks in my head and a hole right in my head. Well, I won't be where it's at. I won't be let's see. That same album is in Wild Blue. That whole lead, all that stuff was done on this guitar. Gosh, I can't remember what else I played. I think on the, I Could Laugh, I Could Laugh. It's not funny. Anyway, it's really versatile. It's got this, very hot pickups, so you have to kind of turn them down. Let's try that. This is my woman, I call the woman tone. I think Eddie Van Halen used to say that, didn't he, about his... This beautiful Bigsby was put on there by a dear friend named Gary Cooper. Not the actor. So I had him modify it so that it does a cut. I think it goes to single coil, and that kind of thins it out. I use this a lot on the new Hymn Show album. I've used it on probably every 77's record that I can think of. I know that I played it on When Real Men Cry by Lost Dogs. I can't remember every record I played it on, but this is probably it's the guitar that's dearest to my heart. Influenced a lot by Neil Young and Stephen Stills and those guys, and they always played these big Gretsch guitars like White Falcons, and I knew I would probably never be able to afford a White Falcon, but a blonde 335 as pretty as this was the next best thing, and I have to admit that I'm probably happier with this guitar because it's not so bulky like those big huge Gretsches, but I'll get me a big Gretsch one day.
Beach shell.
I played Derry's big blue one instead, and that helps. So, yeah, I just love this guitar. On the Halloween show that time? Oh, I'm burning. It just lends itself to a style of playing that's so more emotional, and tender. Hemingway.
I digress.
I digress. 2, 3.
Why don't you get up? Get up next to me. Why don't you get up? I'll get up next to me. Man, get up close enough to me, baby. You won't like what you said. I fill up with gas, lights my glow. Wind me up, but I'd never ever go. No, no, no. I only got one gear, and that's reverse, baby. I'm in the fast lane, moving slow.
All right, so here it is, the Les Paul. You guys have probably seen me play this on tour from time to time. This is the guitar I played on Perfect Blues. Gosh, oh my gosh, just like Woody, you know. It's got a big fat sound, but then you could just kick it back. I did like a thing, you know, watching the sunrise in an old raincoat. Mark and I did that on that Daydream. So it has a lot of, it's similar to the 335 because it's a Gibson with two pickups, two humbucker pickups, but it's a little bit more, you know. Let's see. very versatile instrument. I don't play it enough. I should play it more. And I have the feeling that as we work on new 77s material, this guitar is going to come out a whole lot more because it has always served me well. But I'm never going to take it on the road again. The last time I did it was a disaster because it won't stay in tune. But it really is great. This is another one of those waited until someone was down in their luck cases. I think it's a 1980 or 81 Les Paul Studio model. Oh my gosh. Anyway, that's it. Yeah, this is the K. Now it says Jimmy Reed model, but this was given to me by a roadie friend, Howie Kittleson, who was out on our 1995 123 tour. I don't know where he found this, some pawn shop or something, but I've seen photographs with Jimmy Reed playing an instrument like this. Almost looked like this was cut off of a, the back of someone's cookie sheet or frying pan or something. It's really great. This probably comes from about 1962, 63, something like that. I'm not sure. One pickup, and it's kind of got a funky sort of bridge thing on it. But man, the tone of this guitar, and these were probably very cheap when they were new, but I don't have any guitar that sounds anything remotely like this. It's really lively. I could probably talk through it. So it's perfect for slide. As you can see, I have it set up almost as tall as my thumb there so that I can get this thing without it rattling all over the place. And it's perfect for that. It's got the great sound. So, yeah, I really love this guitar a lot. So anyway, I played it on You're Gonna Be Sorry, obviously. Some other things over the years I can't really remember, but that's the most notorious one. I think we even took this out on the road and I played it, both solo and with 77. So it's been a trusty friend, and I hope to use it again on a record sometime soon. All right. Happy birthday, David Bowie. Happy birthday, Elvis Presley. It's one for the money, two for the show.
A 3 to get ready. Now go, cat, go, but don't you step on my blue suede shoe. Well, you can do anything but lay off of my blue suede shoes. You can knock me down, stamp on my face, slander my name all over the place. Do anything that you want to do. Lay off of them shoes and don't you step on my blue suede shoes. Well, you can do anything but lay off of them blue suede shoes. Well, blue suede shoes, blue suede shoes, yeah. Blue suede shoes, baby. Blue suede shoes. You can do anything but lay off of my blue suede shoes.
That's what's for Terry, right? Terry? Yeah. Wearing my glasses, baby. Just for you. All right. Well, this is a Gibson Lucy. No, it's not Gibson. It's Guild. Guild. That's right. This was given to me by an old girlfriend that worked in a pawn shop. And we made each other so miserable for so many years that she decided to give me this as a guild offering, not a guilt offering. But I've seen photographs of B.B. King playing a guitar very similar to this, if not the same instrument, back when he would play on the radio in the early 50s in grocery stores and places like that. You would see him, and then thered be a sign behind him, artichokes, 10 cents or something like that. And, when I first met you, baby, oh Lord, you were sweet 16. When I first met you, baby, girl, you were sweet 16. But you let me, baby, way down in New Orleans. I have recorded with this guitar, not very often. I think I recorded a song, very old song, on an album called Gothic. It's too darn hot, too darn hot. I'd like to sup with my baby tonight. Fill the cup with my baby tonight. Like to sup with my baby tonight. Fill the cup with my baby tonight. But I ain't up to my baby tonight, 'cause it's darn hot, too darn hot. Gotta get the heat down. Gotta get the heat down. Anyway, it's a cute little guitar. It doesn't weigh anything, but I need to start playing it more because it's a really sweet little treasure. So B.B. King, wherever you are, Lucy. Heard about the light of progress. I could never see that far.
the light of success. Must have had a change of anger. Don't care what the people say. There's gotta be a better way. Don't want the usual merchandise recycling in a new disguise. I'm finding a different light. Different kind of light. Different kind of love. Yeah, yeah. I'm finding a different light.
Okay, this is the Fender Stratocaster 12-string. And what was somebody was telling me about a 12-string has to be able to play the birds, you know, it's like Mr. Tambourine Man, play a song for me in the jingle jangle morning. Zeppelin. Pink Floyd, right?
So you think you can tell heaven from hell, blue skies from rain.
See, and then there's Boston, right? What is it? More Than a Feeling?
The hardest part. It's the wrong band. You take it on faith, you take it from the heart. The wait's the hardest part, right?
Let's see. Playing 12-string riffs, but let's see. On Holy Ghost Building, we did this song, so we're going to probably close with this. But anyway, thanks for joining us. I know it's a little bit of an unusual thing to do on the show, but I get a lot of questions over the years from people wanting to know what guitars I play, what pedals I use. We didn't really get into the pedals too much today. Maybe that's for another time. But this is part of the sort of gradual collection that I've come up with over the years. We didn't get to them all, but if we ever get in this situation again, I'll be sure to hit you up with some more of this if you like it. So,
brother, afar from your Savior today, risking your soul for the things that decay. Oh, if today God should call you away, what would you give in exchange for your soul?
Thanks, everybody. Till next week, Chris Harrelson, Bruce Spencer, Doc Love. So long.
Take a look at the old man, pick up the wrong line. Oh man, wonder if you ever go. It's a show. It's a life on Mars. I gotta tell you, sir, I'm Mary. Can I have a peanut butter and banana sandwich, please? Memphis. Oh, man. Lord.
Man, you can do it, Elvis. Yeah.